recording is right. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. श्री नमा ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Okay, so I had posted last time that from where we will be reading next time. Yeah, so do this one, this line here. Yeah, so from this paragraph, and what topic we are reading? Learning steadiness in Krishna consciousness. So definitely Prabhupada is talking about different things here, like how we cannot either do bhoga or tyaga in this material world, because bhoga is not possible because we are not the enjoyers. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Because when we try to enjoy something, then it many times it backfires, right? If we overeat, like we are enjoying the food and we overeat, so then it will mess up with our stomach. Or if we are enjoying watching something and stay up late night, then it messes up with our routine next day, all those kind of things. So these are like small enjoyments, but many people exploit others to enjoy by themselves, so that backfires more badly, right? So we are not the enjoyers. That's the simple thing to say. We are the servants of Krishna, so enjoyment is not for us. I mean, enjoyment means what? Like sometimes people might say, oh, then what is the motivation to live in this life? We are enjoying in Krishna's service, right? Whatever we offer to him, we eat that prasadam, so there is enjoyment for our tongue, right? But that is Krishna conscious, because we are not eating in the spirit of like I have to devour everything. No, we are eating prasadam, so we moderately eat, and then we like the prasadam as well. We hear so many kirtans, and we can even watch Krishna conscious movies, dramas. Those kind of things are also fine. So we still get our senses are still satisfied, okay, in living in Krishna's service as well. So okay, that was the about the bhoga, and tyaga is not possible because everything after all belongs to Krishna. What are we going to renounce, right? So those things Prabhupada spoke, and then he was talking about how there are four classes of men: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, right? So then let's see what is coming. Just a little bit recap. If one goes to Krishna, even for material advantages, the day, so I'm assuming Vidya Mataji cannot read, and Madhumita, would you like to read or you want me to read?
Ma'am, you can continue.
Okay. If one goes to Krishna, even for material advantages, the day will come when he forgets material desires. Just like Dhruva Maharaj. He was repentant and said, I came to Krishna and asked for something material, just like one who has pleased a very rich man and who asked him for a few grains of rice. So you might know the story of Dhruva Maharaj. He wanted to sit on the lap of his father, but his stepmother came and scolded him very badly that my son will sit on your father's lap. If you want to sit on your father's lap, you have to take birth from my womb. She said like that. And Dhruva Maharaj felt very, very insulted and offended. Even at that small age, he could feel those emotions. And he was crying, and he came back to his mom. And his mom, Suniti, she said, I mean, she said that if you want to, get rid of your miseries, then approach Lord Krishna or Vishnu. So that at such a small age, Dhruva Maharaj left his home, and he did a great austerity because Narad Muni found him on the way, and he convinced him that don't do all this. You are just a small boy. It's your age to play and all. But he was so determined that Narad Muni gave him the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he chanted that mantra so sincerely, and he ate. Initially, he ate only fruits, then he ate only leaves, and then he drank only water, then he breathed only a few times a day. Like that, he did so much austerity while chanting that mantra that ultimately Lord Vishnu came and gave him his darshan. That time he saw, that time he understood that why I even asked for anything material, because he was going to ask Lord Vishnu that I want a kingdom greater than my great grandfather, means greater than Lord Brahma also, because his father was Uttanpad, who was the son of Swayambhuva Manu. I know, I think Prajapati Daksha or something. I'm forgetting that. So his father was Lord Brahma. So he wanted a kingdom greater than his grandfather, because he wanted to show his father that what I can do, because he didn't take him in his lap. But then he was repenting that I came to Krishna and asked for something material, just like one who has pleased a very rich man who asked him only a few grains of rice. If a rich man agrees to give us whatever we want, but we ask him only a few grains of rice, is that very intelligent? Asking Krishna for material benefits is exactly like this. One need not ask Krishna extraneously for material happiness, for material happiness will automatically roll before his very feet, pleading, please take me, please take me. So what Prabhupada is saying, that material happiness will follow spiritual happiness. Okay, you once you have spiritual happiness, you don't even have to seek for material happiness. Even material happiness is coming, you will not want to enjoy it. You don't want to take it also, because one gets so absorbed, so immersed in spiritual happiness, that association of Krishna, that they just don't need anything else, because it's just like a lost child who has reached back to his family, his father. What else he wants? He doesn't want anything else, right? So that is our situation. We are so lost right now that there is danger on every step in this material world. Today only some assassination happened. My children were talking about it. Also, there is a school shooting happened today morning in Colorado, in high school. Many kids got injured and two got shot. So what is this world after all? And why people do this? What anxiety they are feeling, what sadness they are feeling, what anger they are feeling, that they keep doing all such things, right? So there is danger at every step in this material world, and we are really looking for our real father, Krishna, right? So therefore, Prabhupada is saying that when you meet Krishna, you don't want anything else. So those who are practicing Krishna consciousness are not in need of material opulence, wives, children, happiness, home. For all is acquired automatically by the grace of Krishna. There is no need to ask Krishna for these material things, but one should simply request him, please engage me in your service. That is the best thing to ask in our prayers. Krishna, please engage me in your service. And rest everything will follow, which we will eventually not need, but it will all be there. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also promises that if one engages in his service, he will supply what is needed and preserve whatever is already possessed, right? You might have seen in India, what is the logo of life insurance say? Anybody remembers? Do you remember? It says yoga kshemam vahamyaham. It says yoga kshemam vahamyaham. You can search it up, that logo. So that means that is taken from Bhagavad Gita verse 9:22. Okay. I'm forgetting the how it starts, but how it ends is yoga kshemam vahamyaham, means what? That I will preserve what you have, and I will give what you lack. That is what Krishna is promising. So we don't have to worry for anything, but we have so many worries, right, all the time. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also promises if one engages in his service, he will supply what is needed and preserve whatever is already possessed. One of his final instructions to Arjuna indicates total dependence on him. Chetasa sarva karmani मयि संन्यास्य मत्परः बुद्धियोगम उपाश्रित्य मच्चित्तः सततं भव. Machchittah satatam bhava means engage your mind in me continuously, satatam. In all activities and for their results, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me, right? Fully conscious means continuation, like how gopis were, right? They even were like cursing Lord Brahma to create eyelids, because when the eyelids close for a microsecond, they can't see Krishna. That much their absorption was there. So they were cursing Lord Brahma. Why did you create eyelids? So sweet, isn't it? We cannot even fathom their devotion. Oh, Krishna. When, oh, when. But yes, so this is Krishna's instruction: in all activities and for their results, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. So this, in materially speaking, like dependence is taken as a negative connotation. Oh, you are depending on somebody. Oh, that's not so good. But actual freedom is complete dependence on Krishna. That is what my Guru Maharaj always says. Actual freedom is complete dependence on Krishna, right? So how Prahlad Maharaj, if you might have watched Mahavatar Narsimha, we saw literally like what was the conduct of Prahlad Maharaj. This movie is taken as it is from Bhagavatam, and that's why it is 100% truth. That Prahlad Maharaj was completely dependent on Krishna, and that's why he was protected from every calamity or atrocity that Hiranyakashipu, imposed upon him, like burning him alive, or putting him in the pit of poisonous snakes, or pushing him down the cliff. Every time he was protected only, and he was not even thinking of his protection. He was not telling Krishna that Krishna, please protect me. He was just chanting his holy name. In any situation, what we learned from this, that even if you are in air, pushed down from the cliff, that situation is also good to chant holy names and be absorbed, right? So these great devotees are teaching us so many wonderful things. So that is Krishna's merciful instruction, that in such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So when we perform devotional service, we need to be very, very mindful that for whom we are doing this, for why are we doing. Even if we get time only to offer one flower, that is also okay. But whenever the contact happens, we need to be fully present, right? We should not be lost, because sometimes what happens, we might do elaborate some rituals or worships or anything, but we are just not present. We are not thinking that it is for Krishna's pleasure, so then that's not very useful. Then we cannot palpably feel that devotion to Krishna, and even Krishna can't feel that for himself from us. So we will start with this new chapter today. Chapter 6, Transcending Designations and Problems. So what we learned in chapter 5, that how to become steady in Krishna consciousness. So the last instruction that we understood is we have to be completely dependent or surrendered to Krishna and work under his protection always. And while we are performing devotional service, right? Not only while we are performing, but Krishna is saying always work under my protection, means that is his devotional service. And in such devotional service, he's saying that means moment to moment, we are always working under his protection. And while we are doing that, we need to be fully conscious of him. So Arjuna, he told Arjuna also that my anusmaram yuddhacha. I'm forgetting the first word, but he said that smaranam means anusmara means remember me and perform the battle, right? So that means even if we are engaged in our occupational duties, we should remember Krishna always and perform our duties for his pleasure. Very nicely, sincerely. Okay, transcending designations and problems. So, first of all, what are designations? Can you give your inputs? Upadhis. So, this is a designation that I am a woman. Okay. This is a designation. I am a wife. This is another designation. I am a mother. This is a designation. Sister. I am like a manager of this company. I am a director of this firm. All these are designations. Okay. These are just the labels. Why they are called that way? Because they are connected to only our body, the present body, right? But when this body will vanish and when we will take another birth, will anybody remain manager of that company or director of that firm or sister of this person or mother of these children? No. These are only bodily designations which are connected to this temporary body only. What is our permanent designation? We are servants of Krishna. Okay. Even if we leave this body, this designation or this real identity will continue. This is not only a label or a designation. This is our real identity, that we are servants of Krishna. So no matter what body we take next birth, we will always remain a servant of Krishna, because that's the nature of soul. Like you can never take sweetness out of sugar, we can never take heat out of fire. Similarly, we can never take this position of servitorship from the soul. Okay. But soul gets bewildered actually. When it comes to this material world, it starts identifying with other labels and designations, right? I'm father, I'm mother, I'm daughter, I'm sister, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, and that way we get attached to those designations also. So if somebody is pointing out fingers at our children, then we may get upset at them. Or somebody is saying something, then many people, you might have heard in India, when police stops the people, traffic police, then people say that, do you know who is my uncle? My uncle is a minister of this state. They say. So they are identifying like that, so it is a very, very dark and deep ignorance, that not being aware of our real identity, and that actually causes all kinds of suffering in this material world. So therefore we need to be very, very conscious about our identity, that we are moment to moment. There is no moment when we will not be servant of Krishna. That is our real position, although we have forgotten, but that doesn't mean that we are not, right? So whether we accept it or not, that's the thing. Whether we accept that sugar is sweet or not, sugar is sweet, right? That's how Krishna has made it. So let us start transcending designations and problems. Krishna consciousness is easily achieved by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, but only some are fortunate enough to have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and his disciplic succession, according to Bhagavad Gita. So, Madhumita, do you know who is Lord Chaitanya? Any idea?
Yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he only started this, I mean, this
Sankirtan
Krishna,
movement.
yeah, Sankirtan, everything, he started it. And then
Yes,
I heard about his story. So he was in Calcutta, then how he moved it to, he even went to the Jagannath temple, and then he went it to the Vrindavan, Mathura, all these places. And
yes, very wonderful.
all his disciplic succession. Yeah, I heard about that,
Yes,
but I forgot actual names related to him, like who are the disciplic succession. I just
right,
forgot
right.
the name. But this
Yes.
is what is started with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Mhm.
and we consider him as the pure devotee of Krishna, and he came in the form of Krishna to have this Krishna consciousness spreaded
Yes.
in this Kali Yuga. Yeah,
Yes, very, very wonderful. Yeah. So you know quite a bit. And also, if you will dive deeper into, Chaitanya Charitamrit, you
Charitamrita.
will
Yeah, I wanted
relish
to
it a
read
lot.
that one. That is my
Yes,
next.
so
I wanted
relishable.
to. Yeah, I wanted to
So
go through
beautiful.
that book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can also read, once we finish this book, then we have a lot of books we can start.
Yeah, because if you start with Bhagavatam, the first chapter, and initially you will first learn about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his
Yes,
story,
yes,
brief.
absolutely.
So
Yes,
that
you
is
have
what
you have read
I read.
it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I read
good.
that one. From there,
Very
I got,
wonderful.
because I'm reading Bhagavatam, so that is the first thing that I started with.
Oh,
But I wanted
wonderful.
to go with the Chaitanya Charitamrita after this.
Very, very nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Bhagavatam has full introduction to Lord Chaitanya's life.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
correct.
yeah. Prabhupada
I
has
mean,
done.
how from his childhood, how, I mean,
Yes, yes.
brother, and then everything small. Briefly, it was
Every
explained,
Yeah,
but it was so
most of the
nice.
things broadly covered.
Hmm.
Yeah, but in Chaitanya Charitamrit, like lots of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas, and also Chaitanya Bhagavat is another book, which is just one book. Like Chaitanya Charitamrit is, I guess, 7 books, 7 or 8 books, but Bhagavatam is sorry, this Chaitanya Bhagavat is one book. So yeah, we will see. But yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you rightly said, that he is Krishna himself actually, and Krishna wanted to understand that Radharani is my greatest devotee and how much pleasure she feels in serving me. Sometimes I also wonder, Krishna thinks like that, that she's so blissful serving me, and what does she feel? So to feel the feelings of Radharani, he came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has complexion right like Radharani, body like Radharani, but he's Krishna himself. So he came as a Purusha, means man, but he's in the mood of Radharani, and he carries the complexion of Radharani and best of the devotees, right? So Krishna became his own devotee to understand that taste that Radharani has while serving him. So that's a beautiful thing that only Krishna can do. We cannot even fathom how does this work. But then in line of disciplic succession, if you both will see in Bhagavad Gita in the beginning, the disciplic succession has been mentioned, all the names. So there you
Hmm.
will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then how Madhvacharya, and then there are more such acharyas who are in line of disciplic succession. So from them, how it is coming unto Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
correct.
So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, and he chose Nadia district in Calcutta, because that was a education hub basically. And Krishna, although doesn't need any reason to appear anywhere, but since our brains are logical and analytical, so we want to find out reasons why Krishna took birth there. So it is said by acharyas that it was educational hub, and it was a center of attraction for big part of India, because people wanted to come there for studies in that part of India. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as a Sanskrit scholar basically, and he was teaching Sanskrit grammar for a long time. So that's how he came there. And then yeah, there are so many stories, but yeah, so yeah, we will just end with this one last paragraph. But only some are fortunate enough to have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and his disciplic succession. According to Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tatvatah. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Right? So this Tattva Gnan means Gnan about Krishna is very rare, that who Krishna actually is, right? And how is he, right? That many people don't know, and that's why they are bewildered about the Tattva of Krishna, and therefore they cannot worship him wholeheartedly. But we are all very fortunate that Prabhupada has just handed over Krishna to us, that take Krishna, right? Because he had so much love for Krishna that it is just contagious, right? And we are starting to feel a little reverence and affection for Krishna, that we are at least wanting to, offer our food to him, or whatever we are doing in our capacity, as per our time permits, as per our different activities are there. Accordingly, we are serving to some extent, right? So that's our beginning, and definitely we are going to go and progress in it, because grow and progress, because Krishna once holds your hand, he's not going to leave. We may want to, sometimes, but Krishna will never. Once he has held our hand, he will not leave it. He loves us so much that he will not leave this opportunity of, having us back to him for himself. So here we will stop and we will continue next time. We just barely started 6th chapter, but today I had this another call earlier. So, okay, so I'm just marking this. We will start here. So if you have any sharings, either of you, just share and give me also benefit of your sharing, if anything.
Just one thing, Mataji, I heard it from somewhere like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has mentioned that do not say this Bhagavad Gita to the person who doesn't have that respect and doesn't have the eagerness to listen about me. But when you realize that in Kali Yuga, no one will be interested in me, no one will be interested in the spiritual journey and all, he came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread his consciousness. So that everyone will start listening to the Sankirtan, because Sankirtan is the only way in the Kali Yuga that everyone can do. No one can do the tapasya, no one can do the other things. But in Kali Yuga, to achieve Krishna, Sankirtan, Kirtan, the Shravanam, the Kirtan, all these things that you can do to achieve Krishna.
Oh, yes. You've pointed a very, very important thing, because it will be very difficult for Kali Yuga people. They don't even have that kind of intelligence,
The
right?
body doesn't have that power to do that, like all this kind, like in Satya Yuga and other Yuga, people do such kind of tapasya and all, but in Kali Yuga, people can't do that.
No,
The body will not support. The only way you can do, you make your brain Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. That is the only way.
And just keep repeating the names of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That's the easiest process, as you mentioned, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us, and Prabhupada has brought it to the Western world, so much he had feeling for people in general, right? So thank you for sharing that point. Very heart moving. Thank you so much. Vidya Mataji, you have anything to share?
No, Mataji. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for your association as well. Thank you, Madhumita. So I'll see you next week.
We'll meet next week. Shubharatri.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.